Our next speaker is Mr. Peter Hubbard. Is he there?
Yes, hi. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
I'm well,
Great.
thank you.
You are running for also statewide office of commissioner of agriculture.
No, public service.
Public service? I'm sorry. Yes, statewide public service commissioner from District 5 is correct? District 3. I'm gonna give you some better. We would like for you to address the issues of public safety with a focus on such questions and what needs to be done to have a power grid that is resilient against hurricanes and sabotage, education and healthcare with the focus on how to provide better rural internet access for remote teaching and telehealth, and cost of living, the economy, and accountability with a focus on how to increase transparency to how the PSC regulates Georgia power and how the PSC can provide guidance to communicate with tech companies trying to build data centers. Same question.
That covers the whole gambit. And tell me how many minutes I have, so I'll try and keep
10
it.
minutes, sir.
10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, I'll definitely keep it under that because I want to have the opportunity if anyone wants to have a question or two. I want to just take a minute to give you a little background. So my name is Peter Hubbard, and I was elected to the Public Service Commission last November, but just for a one-year term. And the reason for that is simply because, the way that you mentioned districts, right? I don't even worry about the district. I have to live in a district, but the whole state votes on us. And so it's important to recognize that, the whole state can vote for both of the open seats here. And so was actually, and the reason for that is, again, there's only been one black commissioner that's been elected to the Public Service Commission in its entire history. And, I mean, that's important because we had a pause in elections for a number of years while that was litigated. And during that time frame, we had a number of rate increases, and really that catalyzed a lot of the movement that we're seeing now in the Public Service Commission. There was a lot of frustration with the direction that the Public Service Commission was going in. And I recognize that early on. So my background, very briefly, is that I'm someone who's had 16 years in the energy industry, putting together long-term power plans for utilities and helping them to navigate these hard questions of how do we retire responsibly our coal-fired power plants that are uneconomic to run, but we're keeping on to them because of, reliability or whatever issues may be presented. And how do we responsibly transition to the lower cost resources that are being deployed today that will bend that cost curve downward and help to address the affordability issue that we're all concerned with? So I think that expertise is very helpful here. And I've also, the last 3 years before I joined the commission, was helping develop projects, solar projects and battery projects, and recognizing the value that they bring to a grid, right? Solar doesn't work everywhere, but even in states like Texas, they are embracing solar because it is lowering the cost of electricity for everyone, and it is providing reliability to the grid, especially during these times of heat waves. Despite the heat waves, those solar powers are producing quite a bit of energy for when we're cranking our air conditioning. So there's some real benefits that we could be harvesting, but we're just leaving a lot of opportunity on the table in Georgia, a very sunny state. And so I formed a nonprofit in 2019, started going in front of the Public Service Commission saying we can do a better job. And I intervened and provided expert witness testimony in the last four long-term power plans. So now and then I threw my hat into the ring and earned a one-year term on the commission, and I'm back on the ballot for a six-year term. But I joined the commission because I really see an opportunity for Georgia to harvest a lot of what we have here. So we just heard from Catherine, and who's running for Ag Commissioner. And a few weeks ago, we had the very first Georgia Solar Farm Summit. It is very possible for us to harvest solar power and harvest agriculture, which is our biggest business in Georgia, and even to have biological diversity, have all of these benefits all in the same plot of land. And we're just not picking up that opportunity. And so I ran for office, and I believe in the Public Service Commission as a conduit to helping address affordability and help address climate change and help address some of the issues that were raised, because we can deploy these resources, meet this moment, even with this large load growth from these data centers. And we certainly need to take a moment to address them, that they need to pay their fair share. But we can meet this moment with renewable energy, and that can clean up our power grid and help address this issue. Earlier this year, the power company Georgia Power came to the commission and asked for $912 million in storm cost recovery. And, a good deal of that was related to Hurricane Helene. What we need to be doing is accounting for the impacts of the climate emissions that we're producing with the current grid that we have. We need to be incorporating public health considerations into our decision making. I just want to pause for a second, make sure you all can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we really need to be taking a whole of government approach, a holistic approach, because from the data centers who are coming to our state because we rolled out the red carpet through tax abatements and through cheap energy, to the impacts of the coal ash that we continue to produce and the fossil fuel gas emissions that are having an impact on public health. We need to encompass all of these in our decision making and have a much more thoughtful approach. And that's playing out in real time. We're seeing data centers come to our state, and we need to address the fact that they are not yet paying their fair share. We saw that in a recent Public Service Commission docket where we looked deeply into those issues, and we're going to continue to look into them. But I'll put a capstone on all of this, and that is that we need folks who are minding the shop at the Public Service Commission. The reason why we have the most expensive power plant in the world in Plant Vogtle, the reason why we have extraordinary profits on the power company. The reason why we keep building the wrong resources is because we have Republican commissioners we just have commissioners who are not are accepting what the power company gives them and not being proactive in showing leadership. And so what my interest is on the Public Service Commission is showing that path of how we can get to a clean energy future for Georgia. Take these resources we're already manufacturing here, solar panels and electric vehicles and batteries, and put the people of Georgia to work with those things we're manufacturing here in Georgia, which will create a win-win-win in lowering our power bills as well. So I see that good. I see those synergies that I heard in the Ag Commissioner candidates' remarks just now. And I want to see that latent potential that we can develop and help put the people of Georgia to work, help bring some of that prosperity and the lower power bills that come with developing the right resources. And it's going to take a concerted effort over time, but that's what we need to do. And it starts with having leadership on the Public Service Commission. So hopefully that only took 4 or 5 minutes, and I hopefully there's maybe a question or two.